After the scandal that happened at Chrisland School, with the students of Chrisland School, a lot of parents has become woke to the whole internet things, smartphone, technology, how children are using devices. The major reason or cause of what happened is the internet, because I believe that those children must have seen lots of such content on the internet, on their smartphone, on their tablets, on their computers. So what do you do? How do you monitor your child's use of the smartphone? Or how are you even going to raise a child in this technologically advanced age or era of life? That is what we are going to be looking at in this video. You're going to start this video before you give your child a smartphone. These are the things that you need to ensure, or these are the things that you need to do, because most of the children that we see falling into immoral values or immoral behaviors because of the internet are largely due to inadequate education or knowledge about the right or effective use of the smartphone or technology. I need to also make this known that technology is not the enemy. The internet is not the enemy. Smartphones, tablets, laptops, these are not the enemy. What constitutes this nuisance is when the child is ignorant of the actual effective use of the technology. Technology is here to help human beings do things better, live better, and also get things done faster or easily. All right, so it is only when someone do not know these use or these advantages of technology that they resort to disadvantages of technology, because there is actually nothing in existence that do not have its own advantages or disadvantages. All right, so these are things that you need to do. First of all, one of the things I always say whenever I'm talking to parents concerning how their children use their smartphone is, how are you as a parent using your smartphone? Today we have parents that are always 24/7 on Facebook, and not even as if they are running a business online, but they are just on TikTok or Instagram checking out what is going on, or Twitter checking out what is going on in the world. And guess what? Your child is watching you do that. They'll see you only take pictures with your smartphone. They'll see you only make calls and answer calls with your smartphone. There is literally nothing else you're doing with it, with technology, than the basic things that it can do. And guess what? Some of those basic things that technology does are even abuse of technology or abuse of devices or smartphones. And when they see you do all of these things, they are only going to model what you are already presenting to them. When a child is not adequately imparted with the right use of technology, the society that is also devoid of these effective use or these actual use or right use of technology is going to impart them. Their peers that are also using devices for what is not meant to be used for is going to impart them. So when there is inadequate education of how to use technology effectively, it will result to the child involving in immoral things, immoral attitudes, immoral lifestyle that you never even might ever find out until it comes to the limelight the wrong way. Okay, so is it right to allow your child to use a smartphone? Well, whenever I'm asked this question by parents who wants to get a smartphone for their children or for their child, I always ask them, what do you think they are going to be needing the smartphone for at their age? All right, so I'm going to leave you to answer that for yourself. Whenever you feel that the child needs a device, all right, whenever you feel the child needs a device, and that's actual time is when you know that your child has sufficient education on right and effective use of smartphones, right and effective use of a laptop. Yes, I know that in schools they always have this ICT that teaches them coding, robotics, or whatever with a laptop. But then these curriculums that schools has do not teach them how to use a smartphone. And in today's world, smartphones are one of the most common technological device or tech device that is readily available to anyone, whether it's a child, whether it's an adult, whether it's a teenager, whether it's even a baby. Their parents have a smartphone. Parents will always complain that my child will not allow my smartphone to stay, my child, because of what? It is readily available to them. And that is why I would always insist that the school system should include smartphone education on smartphone technology, so that these children can get to see the amazing, enormous potential that the smartphone has. The right age for your child to own a smartphone is when you are satisfied with the education they have on the right or effective use of the smartphone. That is the right age. Then another parents will always say that I can never allow my child to use a smartphone until they are 18. Now let me tell you what you are about to do. Your child does not have a smartphone, but his or her peers has a smartphone. Automatically, he or she has a smartphone. If your child's best friend or if your child's friend owns a smartphone, he or she already has a smartphone. Why? There is no how that your child's friend will be on his or her smartphone doing whatever thing that you do not know, that he or she will not call your friend to come and check out what he or she is checking out. If they are on TikTok, come and see what I'm saying. Let's also do this. If they are on, because it is just not possible. Now, when you say, okay, let me leave it till he or she is 18. So what are you now going to do to prepare him or her to be able to effectively or adequately use a smartphone at 18? What are you going to be doing within this timeline before they get the smartphone? Because definitely most parents do not have this thing about, okay, let me start teaching him this is what a smartphone can be used for, this is what it shouldn't be used for, this is how it's going to affect you, this is how it's not going to affect you, before they now turn 18 to pick up a smartphone. Because when you have, keep them away from a smartphone till 18, it is just like keeping a time bomb, because they must have acquired a whole lot of things about using a smartphone. They must have seen people on TikTok, they must have heard of Instagram, they might even be on Facebook and all social media handles without your knowledge, because they must have opened it with their friend's phone. So when they finally get a smartphone at 18, it is not going to make any difference than them getting a smartphone when at a younger age. So the right thing you should be doing, you should be fostering, is that your child get adequate knowledge on effective and productive use of a smartphone. Now I'm talking strictly about smartphone because it is easy to walk into a computer school, get knowledge on computer education, or even in their schools, like I said earlier, they will be taught on this is what laptops are used for. In fact, most times children don't even use laptops to do some bad things like they would use a smartphone. All right, because smartphones are portable, they are mobile, they can just put it anywhere, enter the bathroom and do whatever thing they want to do with it. And that is why I'm hammering on what smartphone technology education. The problem is not even only the internet, even televisions, Hollywood, Marvel, DC Comics, Disney, Cartoon Networks even, right? I remember one thing that happened. I was in this house, a family home, and I wasn't paying attention. I was in their sitting room and the children were there. I wasn't paying attention to the Nickelodeon they were watching. And I was on my phone and I noticed something happening, that at a point the volume of the TV will go high and then at a point it will go low. Their mom was in the kitchen, all right? So then I said, what's going on? I then dropped the phone to look at what's going on. And I realized that in the Nickelodeon they are watching was about a boy and a girl, all right? So the children were reducing the volume when there is something about kiss the girl or talking about the, all those type of things on Nickelodeon, not Mnet movie, not TNT, Nickelodeon, all right? So the children will reduce the volume when there is something about kiss the girl or something, so that their mom will not hear it. Then when they now come back to talking normal, they will increase the volume. See? And but their mom was quite okay. My children are just watching Nickelodeon. It's a children's channel. It's fine. All right. Please, you need to pay attention to what your children are watching. Okay. And I used to say that it's actually better for you to control the movies than for the TV, DSTV, to control the movies. What I mean by this is on TV, you cannot tell them the type of movie to play, right? They will just put up any movie, or even on Cartoon Network. I saw bad things on Cartoon Network, on Disney Channel, and well, to parents, it's cartoons, it's animations, it's fine, right? It's better for you to download the movie, download the cartoon, the animation, and watch it yourself first before you make it open for people, for your children to watch it. In fact, it's better for you to delete those channels and leave the channel that you feel is okay. All right. I know there is parental control on TVs, even on DSTV. You can actually set up parental control such that anytime there is a use of erotic words or sexual words, all right, the TV can just block it out. I've seen this on TVs, all right. So if you just go to your DSTV remote and go to settings, you should see parental control, and then you can be able to lock up things that you wouldn't want your children to be listening to. Even on Mnet movies, these things are done. Okay, so you need to also pay attention to televisions, not just the internet. Okay, not just the internet. So when your child has that adequate knowledge of the use of a smartphone, that is when you could say, yes, I'm going to give him or her a smartphone. In fact, I saw this trend of a parent, the child was clamoring for their own smartphone, and the parent said, well, if you could tell me 20 things that you're going to be using the smartphone for, I'm going to get you one. You can do that also, right? You can do that also. There are several things on my channel. I always talk about different things that the smartphone are used for, just for the sake of educating people, because even adults are ignorant of effective use of smartphones. All right, so I started my channel to teach people these are things you can do with your smartphone. Just the same way you use your laptop, you can also use your smartphone for these purposes, and not just to make an answer call and surf social media and take pictures. No, there are several other things you could do with a smartphone, and that leads me to talking about Smartphone Productivity Club, which is the kids arm of our company Movie Digital Services, where we teach children how to use their smartphones effectively. So our programs have actually been running for the past 1 year, and a lot of parents that enroll their kids to our program have testified to how useful smartphones has been to their child. A parent living in England said that her child does her graphics for her, and she pays her child, all right, instead of getting professional graphic designers, that the child now does it for her, all right. And I can also not talk about children that are already in the world, okay, that are effectively using their smartphones. We have kids, superstar YouTubers all over the world that are using their smartphones to make their own videos, all right, and putting them on the internet. And there are also so many children. We have Emanuela, okay, and so many other children that the internet have actually made famous, made popular, and use them to solve their families' financial challenges. But this is not me talking to you about using your child to make money for yourself. No, okay, I'm just talking about how the internet have also been blissful, right, to the children around us. Okay, it's just on what right application of the smartphones to what boosts their productivity. That is what is very important, and it's all about imparting them with right education on how to use smartphones effectively. Okay, so we are going to be starting a program in the month of May. Every Friday and Saturday, we are still working on it, where we are going to be teaching children about smartphones. We are going to be teaching them how to use smartphones effectively. We're going to be teaching them how to use smartphones to improve their education, how to be productive with their smartphone, and how to monitor their time on their smartphone, and also how to use the smartphone to ensure they are keeping up with their daily activities. And also we teach them how to drop their phone, how to drop their phone and do other things. Some of the exercises we do in the club is to work with the parents and get them to ensure that the children do not have access to any technological device for a week. Okay, so that they don't get too attached that every day they are always on the smartphone. So if you want your child to be part of this, I'm going to leave a link on down below. It's free. All right, it's free. If you also want to enroll your child to our actual smartphone club, all right, I'm also going to leave a link down below. What we do at Smartphone Productivity Club is help you educate your child on right and effective use of the smartphone. All right, we also teach them skills that they can use to they can use their smartphone to do, because if they learn how to do some of these things with their phone, they will be less interested in the popular things that people do with their phone. If they know that I can use my smartphone to create storybooks, I can use my smartphone to make comics, I can even shoot a video of myself and talk about what I'm interested in, I can code with my phone, I can do one thing or the other with a mobile phone, they will have a lot more things to do with their phone than the common things. All right, I've done a video right here on games that can help improve your IQ. Okay, I'm going to leave a link to that video down below, so that if your child could get addicted to that game, it's going to be helping him or her sharpen his mind, improve his IQ, and also in problem solving skills, right? So those are what those games are for, and there are several of these things on the smartphone, but because people do not have enough knowledge on what to do with the smartphone or potentials of their smartphone, that is why we are having a lot of problems based on abuse of the smartphone. All right, so we are going to be starting that program in May. Okay, it's going to be free of charge. We are still working on it. It's either going to be every Friday on Saturdays or only on Saturdays. Okay, where we will talk to your children about smartphone productivity, how to use smartphones effectively. All right, and I'm going to leave the link to sign up your child or register your child on the description down below. So on how to control your child's use of the smartphone. Okay, so when you get to your settings, all right, and then you go to digital well-being and parental control. Okay, so when you scroll up, you're going to see parental control. So it says set up parental control. All right, so over here you can see set up parental control with Google Family Link. Okay, so supervise the phone remotely with Family Link app for parents. Keep an eye on screen time and set limits as needed. Add restrictions to Google services such as app approval, content filters, or Google Play. So you would literally prevent them from downloading any application. So before they download any application, they will need to contact you. Now, parents used to say that when I tell them to set this up on their phone or their children's phone, yes, it's actually possible, right? When they say that their children can be smart enough to deactivate it and so on, okay? It is not actually done. When Google Family Link is set up on a phone, it is not done, except if the child is going to have another phone that you don't know about. Okay, it is not done. All right, so once you tap on get started, you're just going to follow up the instructions. So it said who will be using this device. So if it's your own device, then you tap on parent, then on their own device you tap on child and teenager, and then just key in the email of your child. If he or she doesn't have one, you can create one. Okay, and then also key in yours, and then the next thing is going to link up. All right, so whatever thing happening on your child's phone will need you to approve of it. And if you even want to turn off your child from your end, you can do that. Okay, so another one is also social media. All right, the Chrisland School girl was using a very bad username, so that if the parent should search for her on social media, they won't even find her. Okay, so this is what you do to ensure that your child, whether he or she is already on social media, and also to follow him up. All right, first off, you would not want to follow your child with your own personal profile. Okay, because he or she will immediately detect that is you and probably may not accept the friend request. Or if you just want to follow him or her incognito without having to add them or not. But there are some children that have there are some profiles that are private. You can only see their content if you're following them. All right, so this is what you do. Okay, you can use their mobile phone to search for them on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Likey, on Snapchat, or whichever social media, all right, that there is. Okay, and secondly, please keep your child away from Likey and even TikTok. Yes, you can keep your children away from Likey and TikTok. Okay, because the things on those two platforms are just not where a child is supposed to be. Okay, but either ways, like I said, it's all about education, right? Education. So we are also going to be teaching your child social media education to get them to understand this is what social media is actually used for. Because parents, adults, they don't even know what social media is used for. All right, social media is where I do my business. A lot of persons have gotten so much positive benefits from social media, and some other people have lost their morals because of social media due to what the people they are following. So we're also going to be teaching them for free on that program on how to use or what social media is for and how to use social media effectively, and also how to protect their morality, their moral values on social media. Okay, so but based on what I was talking about, when you use their phone number or even their email, you can actually go to the search bar of such platforms, put in a phone number. The phone number of that person, the profile will appear. Okay, if you use my phone number to search for me on Facebook, you will find me. If you use my phone number to search for me on TikTok, you will find me. If you use my phone number to search for me on Instagram, you'll find me, because all of those platforms will always require phone number. Okay, if you don't use phone number, then it could also use email. Then the question now might be, what if they have also gotten a phone number or a SIM card that you are not aware of? But it may take them time to figure this one out. All right, it may take them time. So based on the Google Family Link aspect, also, if you downloaded Google Family Link on your children's phone and then you are now scared if they are going to remove it, okay, you can actually hide an application. Yes, you can hide an application such that they don't get to see where you kept it. Okay, so this one, it doesn't really require you to be techie or anything. You can just go to your Play Store or App Store and find an app that can be used to hide applications. So if I go to my Play Store and then type hide app, so let me write hide app, hide apps. Okay, so you can see several apps here. Okay, you can actually see several apps here. One of the ones I normally use is Vault. Okay, so if I install Vault, I don't have any app for that here. If I install Vault, you can see where you can hide an app. So with Vault, you can quickly hide the Vault itself and also hide the Google Family Link so they don't get to uninstall it. Okay, but all of these things I'm talking about is largely due to what? Number one, trusting your child. And number two is what? The relationship you've built with your child. Okay, if you failed to parent your child over time, okay, you can't actually come to when he or she is already a teenager and try to parent them well. All right, it may not be as easy as it will be when they are still 6, 5, 7, you know, as young as that. Okay, however way, we would want to help you in the regards to how they respond or how they use smartphones. Okay, so you can sign them up using the link down on the description. Okay, and we'll be taking them on smartphone education, smartphone productivity education during weekends starting the month of May. Okay, so we are going to group them into their different ages. All right, and we're going to be talking to them. All of our instructors are people with experience with handling kids, okay, and people that also have their own personal stories why they would love to what teach children on how they should be using or effective or productive use of the smartphone. All right, so this is all from me with regards to handling your child and his or her smartphone. And if you enjoy this, I never said you should subscribe, so you can subscribe to my channel actually, so you too as a parent can get to see or learn enormous things that smartphones are capable of doing, so that you too can also have some, you know, knowledge or idea that you might want to impart on your child. Because if your child do not see you use smartphones to do much more than the normal, right, they are just going to continue with the status quo. Okay, with this, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for learning, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Was that video helpful? You might want to watch more tutorial videos on my channel, like the one I released recently, and then hit the subscribe button up here and ring the bell so you always be the first to know when I release a fresh video. That is if you want to keep watching videos from me, and of course you want to. My name is Frederick. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.